Hi everyone, it's Nadia, a watercolor artist from Kyiv, Ukraine, and today I will show you how I painted a bright spring bouquet in a Chinese vase. And this illustration, made by very talented Helen Diltry, inspired me to do it. It showed that it could be done both loose and very beautiful, and you don't have to spend lots of hours on drawing a very detailed pencil sketch. I don't know what about you guys, but it takes me around 30-40 minutes to draw a perfect vase. So this method, this wet on wet technique, is the perfect way for me to draw a vase. And I'm really happy with the result because it is still recognizable and it's painted pretty accurately, I would say. I will mention all the materials I used in the description box below, and don't forget to click the thumbs up button if you enjoy these videos. Let's paint! I have made a rough vase sketch to see its outer border. It will help me to understand which area should be moistened with water. Our vase will be painted very loosely. To do it, we need the paint to spread easily on the paper. That's why we are moistening it. I decided to paint a branch with leaves and flowers. You can choose any other design to decorate your vase. I will add only one layer of paint on the vase. It should look airy and not very detailed, as I want the flowers to be the center of this painting and to get most of the attention. Now I feel that my paper is not wet enough to spread the paint easily, so I am moistening it again. I start making the color mixture to paint the flowers. I will start with the biggest one and add smaller details gradually. I use both cold and warm color tones to show the play of the light, and also to show which part of the flower is closer to me and which is further from me. At this stage I'm not interested in details. I need to create big color stains to define the overall composition. When the flowers are dry, I will return and add some smaller strokes to show the petals and the center of each flower. Let's proceed and add stems and big leaves. Again, I will use different color tones to show that light hits the leaves differently. While painting such loose illustrations, I try to make my brushes dance in my hand. In this case, the strokes look more refined. Try not to paint only in one area of paper, paint equally in every part of the paper. Now, when we defined the bigger flowers, we can move further and start adding smaller elements, like these purple flowers. Not all floral shapes look recognizable at first stroke. I would say most of them don't. But I look at what I have just painted and think, what could I add to make it look more like a flower, a leaf, or a bud? Don't forget to use different color shades while painting flowers. Flowers at the top I paint lighter as they are located further from us. I always use 2 buckets of water for warm and cold tones. It helps me not to paint muddy colors. Just like I recommend to paint in different but still close color shades, I suggest you to change brushes to create various brush strokes. I always start with lighter colors for bigger shapes and then move to darker ones to add contrast and depth to the illustration.
For a minute, I'm back where
Let's show where the petals and the center of the flowers are.
I have to sleep in the bed I made. I don't sleep much at all these days, 'cause you always pick me up and let me down. We're spinning around, losing our minds. Damned if we do, damned if we don't, damned if we give in what we want. And I always pick you up.
I'm adding leaves in darker colors to add volume to our painting.
Around, losing our minds. Damned if we do, damned if we don't, damned if we give in what we want, to what we want, to what we want, to what we want. There's a party downtown, I really hope that you're coming by. But you always pick me up and let me down. We're spinning around, losing our minds. Damned if we do, damned if we don't, damned if we give in what we want. And I always pick you up and let you down. We're spinning around, losing our minds. Damned if we do, damned if we don't, damned if we give in what we want, to what we want.
These are the final brush strokes to make the flowers look more real and recognizable. Loose watercolor paintings are very intuitive. Sometimes your hands can move faster than your thoughts, and you cannot explain the reason you add some elements to the illustration. Thank you guys for spending this time with me. Hope you have enjoyed this video and it has inspired you to create a loose watercolor piece of art. Have an awesome day and see you in the next video. Bye bye.